Hi, welcome to the Land Whisperer channel. If you're here for the first time, then my name is Chris and I'm a writer of short stories and a spiritual land worker. And if you're returning, then thank you very much indeed for coming back. Last week, I introduced the concept that extraterrestrials were communicating with the shamans here at the site. The extraterrestrials in the psychic download that I got wanted me to clarify that fact for you because the shamans themselves thought that they were just communicating with spirits. Today, I want to continue with the psychic information, and it'll be the last part of people's interaction here because it was a time of endings at Stanton Drew. Around 2667 BC, frustrations once again built up in the local community. Where harmony and balance had reigned for almost 150 years, now discord began to grow. The cattle and the people contracted diseases, which led to starvation. Relying so heavily on just domesticated animals for food meant that they were vulnerable when that source of food was affected in any way. Hunting and foraging were the other options, but the wild harvest isn't always reliable. With the difficulties associated with this downturn, many decided to leave again. People had fallen out of love with the circle and the balance of harmony idea. There was no excitement in the culture anymore, just predictability, and so a malaise set in. The over-reliance on cattle as providers of food and their subsequent diseases made the people turn more to cereal crops to live on, which was helped by the warmer weather at the time. In the end, as people wandered away to find easier places to live, those left behind had to reduce their workload in balance with those leaving the community. The priesthood had had to reduce their numbers too. So, with less and less people around, the lifestyle of worshipping at the circle was finally coming to an end. As the people that remained turned towards wheat growing, the importance of celestial and stone markers to help with the planting times and harvest became more prominent. Around 2500 BC, several stones were moved around in the Great Circle to mark the winter sunrise and sunset, and the southernmost point of the moon set in winter, and also the summer solstice. So the Great Circle became a calendar at this time. It was not just for farming purposes, but more importantly, to mark the death and rebirth rituals that happened at the winter solstice. At the same time, another culture began to arrive in the southeast of England from the continent. Over a long period, they began to move westwards towards Stanton Drew. This group were the Beaker people and brought with them new ways of seeing the world, new ways of worship and metalworking. They focused more on the individual and their place and status in the world as opposed to the community at large. With their coming, the last of the megalithic stone circles were put in place at Stanton Drew. And by 2200 BC, the Stanton Drew Complex had fallen out of use, superseded by those newer beliefs. The Bronze Age, a period marked by round barrows housing a single dead occupant, rather than the communal long barrows of earlier times, was now at hand. The time of the divine feminine energy had ended, and the rise of the divine masculine was asserting its dominance in the landscape and the new people. Spiritually, as a practitioner, I always think that whatever subject I'm focused on at the time will always be the subject that I'm focused on, because in the moment it's so all-consuming. But like other areas of life, I can safely say that nothing ever stays the same. And in the next video, I'll share the information that did change for me. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments and I'll get to them as soon as I possibly can do. So until the next video, thank you for joining me, and I pass you unconditional love, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.